Welcome back, guys, to another podcast episode to You Only Live Once podcast. I'm your host, Addie. We are going to be talking about not being the strongest soldier, okay? Now, what inspired this? Last week at work, I had a very colorful experience, and I work within underdeserved communities, all that kind of stuff in Chicago public schools. And it was a very hectic kind of day at this one school that I was at, and something in me, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this tomorrow. You know, when you just get fed up with something, especially at your job, and you can change it. I went ahead and did that. I took myself off for the rest of those assignments. I said, oh no, it was only for like 3 more days. But I just had that experience, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not returning back to this school. It was the worst. And the staff that was there, because they liked me, of course, and the kids liked me, but it was not organized and just too many problems. So anyway, I went ahead. I mean, they were telling me like, girl, it's just for 3 more days. You could just keep on. Mind you, I'm not being supported. Oh, it's just 3 more days. Just go ahead. Like, basically telling me to suffer so that their jobs could be easier for them. Suffer and still not be supported, still not have the materials, tools, or anything that I needed. Yeah, guys, I'm a substitute. And it's very important for there to be organization when you are working at these different schools for assignments and stuff. So, yeah. That kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't like going anywhere where it's like that. So anyway, I was like, wow, it's just crazy how within the Black community, suffering is revered. Putting yourself through tumultuous things and quote unquote coming out strong is revered. Later that night, I was on Substack and I read an article. This one girl, she was talking about how she quit her job and just boldly started following her dreams, which is everybody's story right now, but hers sounded really believable. She was talking about how, why would I want to work at a place and hate my life just for the sake of having a job? She was talking about how it's very taboo to say, actually, I don't want a job, just any job. I want an aligned job. I want an aligned employment experience. How it's a bit taboo, okay? And yeah, so I just wanted to get into when it like, because we are the common people, quote unquote. It's even your own job, your livelihood can test you, can test your self-worth. And I really liked this Substack that I was reading because it just made sense. Like, in today's world, it's like this daunting energy of you have to work, you have to put yourself, you have to do this just to get a check. And mind you, that check disintegrates faster, especially if you earn under a certain amount and you have more debt than what you have as income. It's a catch-22. So today I just wanted to talk about not being the strongest soldier, okay? And how I'm thankful that, yes, I'm quote unquote weak sometimes. It's a strength because you actually realize what you're going to take. And not just take, what you are worth, what you're going to deal with, how you are going to use your energy. It's not just, I'm using my energy to, it's not just filling a void or doing this because you have obligation or have to, like, that's how hypertension is developed. That's how all these other underlying health issues get exasperated because we are because we are conditioned to operate on autopilot and just sell ourselves or just suffer ourselves for the sake of working or for the sake of something. Because you could You could have a job that you hate, but you have better days because you're in a different position or you have these different hours. Like, I always believe the cup is half full and that things can actually work out for you. Hence why I said, actually, I'm not going back though. For that, please take me off. Thank you so much. And I moved on and had a great rest of my week. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated or hard to where you're suffering just for the sake of others. You don't have to do that. Some people will definitely call that being selfish or whatever, but hey, we need to have better values and stuff so that better systems can come into place, because if things were more organized, if we were to ask those more organized, then things would be better. But yes, let's just get into it though. Being quote unquote the weakling. Sometimes I really ask myself, like, if I were the one living in my luxurious life, and if I had everything I needed, would I still be here? Would I still be putting myself through this? Would my impact still be made? I think about those kinds of things. And I challenge you to think about those kinds of things. What would happen? Okay? It's important to understand where you are, where you fall, who you are, and where you fit. Not so much where you fall. Because then that's how you know your strength. That's how you know your grit. Okay? Some people have been operating on autopilot for so long to where that is their work ethic in a way. That's their work ethic. But for those who I'm talking about, where that ain't for you, please go ahead and do yourself a favor. Start to question your reality. Start to question the systems that are in place, or see if you could make it better for yourself, because there is a way. When there's a will, there's a way. And yeah, I believe in that, right? And I feel like we all should, because then that's how we're able to create a better possibility or just a better outcome for ourselves, because we believe that we could make things better when we open our mouths, when we simply ask, when we simply try, when we simply say no to the things that are a hard no to begin with. I was reading this one thing and it was talking about how because in human design, I'm a generator. And one of the good ways to know if you're on the right path, they say, is that it's a yes or a no. And if something comes up in you and it's a no, and it's a very clear no, then don't do it. Or else you're going to go through the long process of stagnation or learning a hard ass lesson or just whatever the heck. And then the things that are yes, don't deny that, because then the same could happen if you're saying a no to a yes. Going through the same cycle again. Okay? So just some food for thought, because our strength needs to show up in different kinds of ways that actually give back to us in our reality, in our life, because we don't have time to waste. Okay? Every moment does count. And how you move forward from that moment matters. It matters so much. I really wish people knew this. I really did, because it's not rocket science, but it's also something that you can't learn it overnight. You can't learn it overnight. You have to keep at it, right? Keep a journal, keep a log. Which brings me to my next segment. What are we journaling about this week, guys? This week we're going to journal about what is a yes and what is a no. Okay? Write out simple prompts or simple daily things that you feel or that you have to do or that is on your schedule. See if it's a yes or a no for you. And the things that are a no, dig into why it's a no. Because it's at 3 o'clock and I really want it to be at 11. Call and see if you can make it at 11. Okay? because this meeting is at blah, blah, blah. See if you can change something or how you can make it better. Then the things that are yes, make sure you really do show up for yourself for those yeses. Because I'm like, even those obligation yeses, like, damn, yeah, I do gotta go. Okay, why is it a damn yeah? You know? Oh my gosh. Like, our inner voice, our inner rhetoric that we say to ourselves is so important, and it impacts our daily life more than you know. That is why I'm on this podcast right here talking to y'all, because a lot of things that happen, they absolutely do happen for a reason. And a lot of what happens after that has to do with our own inner monologue and the spaces that we keep with ourselves mentally, basically, and how we replay our own patterns. And so, yeah, being weak is okay. Okay. In this instance of what I'm talking about, far as when things are a heck no to you, pick up your chin, okay? Pick up your head and say, actually, no, I will go on my way. So go ahead, definitely journal about that this week. Now let's check in with each other. I don't know if y'all been tired lately. Like, it's Pisces season and everything, but I have been so tired. I've been so tired. And yeah, I'm getting back into a gym cycle. I just moved back home. We gonna talk about that, okay? Eventually. But yeah, just a lot of energy has been feeling like we're in the dream state, but it's like when you wake up from such a crazy intense dream, like that weird feeling. I feel like every day has been feeling like that. Now let me get into why I moved back home. So boom, y'all, I moved back home. Honestly, I'm like, should I make this another episode? See, and then my indecision lately. Anyway, let's do it. I moved back home because living in that apartment, paying all of that money every single time, I could barely afford it. And I lived extremely far from Chicago, and I work in Chicago. Everything I do is literally in Chicago. But it was way too far. And I just got a new car in September, which was one of my goals. Yes, moving out of my mom's house at the time when I did in 2024 was a goal because of the strenuous circumstances that was happening here at my mom's house at the time. Thankfully, my mom had to go through her own journey on that, and me too, for moving out, and just both of our lives had to get settled in different ways. But now, at the end of that lease, and I low key re signed it and had to break it. So, because of stuff that happened at the beginning of the year. But I just came to the conclusion in January, end of January, I was like, everyone that wanted me to move out at the time in 2024, none of them were ever really there for me. One, they didn't know I was going through financial turmoil, but I'm like, they wouldn't even give me a dime if I needed it or support or anything. It just, where I'm at in my life right now, a lot of where I'm at right now in life, like, unfortunately, career wise, I'm not where I want to be, right? And I low key got so sick of feeling like this about myself this year. I used to think the worst of myself because of where I'm at career wise and financially wise and even relationship wise. Like, I'm not where I thought I'd be or what I thought I was going to be doing. Literally thought I was going to be married by the age of 25. um, I really thought something different, like when I was younger, like fresh college me, 2017. It's been a hard pill to swallow. And I feel like I'm a late bloomer. I am an extreme late bloomer. Like, I don't even know what corporate life is like because I don't work in corporate. I work darn near in a public sector. Okay, I work in Chicago public schools. I work with the low down and dirty. Okay, I experience some of the crazy shit every day, and it makes me want to, this is me going off topic, be in corporate to like establish certain things, because certain schools don't have the right people hired for the right things. Like, people, you just, like, the state of the world and everything right now, some people are in these jobs just for a check and they're not happy. It's a no for them. This is why you got to understand your grit and know who you are, because no, bruh, go be a security guard somewhere. Like, I saw some staff members today at this one school. I was like, a lot of this stuff shouldn't even be happening. A lot of this shouldn't even be occurring. Like, I used to work for the Department of Child Services. Like, some of the stuff, and this is not mandated reporter stuff that I'm talking about, but just like the aggression or just how they talk to kids is just not cool. And I'm only talking about verbal stuff that I've witnessed as of today. Some things I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you could, even as an adult, catch yourself like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, why do I hate this? Why do I hate my life? Like, because you're so angry. Things just make you mad when you're not doing what it is that your soul wants you to do, or what you're supposed to do, what your purpose is. Like, it's so bad. And it doesn't make it any better. You see the parents, and it's like, oh my God, this is why this is that way. And just the cycle continues with these terrible habits within underserved communities. It's really sad. And this is not where the F I thought I'd be. In witnessing this, and even working for DCS, that job was not it. A boy was trying to set his grandmother on fire while she was asleep in an apartment complex and burn the apartment complex down. That shit was scary. And that was the last hay that broke the camel's back for me at that place. I was like, oh no. And it was so weird. And then, yeah, money stuff with these corporations and stuff. It's weird. And I'm like, why is it that these atrocities are still able to happen? You know, why can't we really help things, right? So anyway, yeah, my experiences with a lot of this stuff is not what I anticipated or thought. And I really believe I gave up on my dreams when 2020 happened, right? The world was shutting down, and honestly, I didn't know how to build things on my own, right? I knew how to just do stuff on my own, like film, record, edit, write, do all that. But I didn't know how to build something long term on my own at the time. And as I'm thinking right now to myself, like, wow, that is what is a part of my late bloomer story, per se. And on the flip side, also realizing, okay, these certain jobs I don't need to be suffering at, right? I'm making the best of where I'm at right now, working for Chicago Public Schools, but the, what is it called? The the flip side to it, which is me seeing, oh, okay, this is a part of the contrast, just to keep my head above water, because I know that I'm destined for something so much greater. I'm destined for my dreams. I'm destined for what I'm really here to do. And I just believe that wholeheartedly within my soul, within my spirit. And it took a really long time for me to get onto this journey, because a lot of things can, within the creative realm, because I'm a creative, can be very cliquey. And, I see the horizon finally opening up for myself. And upon that opening up, it's like, whoa, like, you really gotta build that on your own. You really gotta do that leg work or just open your mouth and ask on your own. Like, nobody's handing it to you. That was really the crazy reality. Nothing's being handed to me anymore. Like, I actually have to get it on my own. Not so much to say like, oh, I just do everything by myself. Like, no, I have to actively go out and seek the places where I'm supposed to thrive at, the communities I'm supposed to build. Like, a lot of the stuff that was happening with me last year. Last year was my first year being a for real influencer that's recognized and being invited to events, being a part of Yelp Elite, being a part of other crazy, amazing things, and doing brand deals, getting invited to restaurants. Like, I actually, last year was my first year ever, like, really experiencing that. And it's been amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this could happen or this was a possibility for us. I had no idea. And I'd be saying us because I'd be like me, myself, and I. I didn't know that was even possible. Like, after all this time, literally, it's great. And so, with all the changes and everything, I've been trying to learn how to keep my head up and see that just because I moved back in with my mom, I'm not a failure. Just because I'm not married yet at the age of 27, it's okay. I'll be all right. Just because I'm not living in a hot area yet doesn't mean I'm a failure. Period. And I'm talking about the weather. Like, it's okay to accept that. And it's like, I used to be afraid to plan things, and I still kind of am for my life because things never go to plan, you know? And so I would default to not having anything planned or not planning anything because, that disappointment of, oh, this is actually not good. This is not happening. So I'm actually going to challenge myself this year because I literally have a course that I'm in right now and I need to start it. I didn't start it yet. But I hope that within it, I'm able to learn how to be neutral. And I'm probably going to share my journey with that. It's a cool course that I really like. From just people that I have come across on my journey. Yeah, this course is amazing and it's sustainable. I just love what people who actually create things that are meaningful for your life, and how they're not so profit hungry. Granted, the woman who created the course is a lawyer. She's all about sustainability and like affordability for everyone. And I think it's amazing. So yeah, I have a lot of her work about her agendas. Shout out to Benna Bowen. Shout out to her. So yeah, I have her course. I'm about to do it. I'm just hoping to learn these things that just come up for me. Like, I don't want to fear planning or wanting anything because, I get attached to certain incomes or certain things. And that's honestly probably why feeling this kind of way about this new change in my life, I don't feel too bad because I'm like, okay, I'm not a failure. But back in the day, 2022, when I had to move back in for the first time, I felt like a failure. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? What am I doing? Like, people are doing this, they're moving on. Like, I didn't know what to think. It's been a journey. I really came into the creative space on my self-love stuff through my first breakup, my first like broken heart phase. As a teenager, I was making videos about self-love. And I really feel like You Only Live Once has a sector of self-love because we do only live once, and the life that we live, we do need to love it. And loving our life can be hard. It can. Because there's a lot of residue. The older you get and the more baggage you hold on to, or just the more patterns and stuff that you go through or experience, the more conscious you experience, it can be quite something. And you're like, oh my gosh, how can I love myself? And I did that. Like, the journey of self-love comes through forgiveness, big time forgiveness, and actually letting things go. I hate repeating old memories, old scenarios, old stuff, or even saying very cynical things to myself about life. And like how I said about plans, like I don't like making plans because they don't. And it is that's an old program in me because something didn't go my way or how I wanted it to, and it left me just feeling sad. Like, damn, I really couldn't go to that event because I wasn't invited. Like, things can feel that way. And so, yeah, self love is an all encompassing kind of journey. And sometimes I just need to, I believe we all should be zooming out and checking in. Like, where is this coming from? Is this of love of me? And then if you really love yourself, you can let things go. Like, it's okay. Let it go and clear it. Okay? Let it go. Go take a bath. Let it go all down the drain. Like, speak it into the water and let it go all down the drain. Like, we have to actively do things to signal to our brain that we are letting this thing go. I feel like our brain loves to hold on to a whole lot of stuff because, shoot, we want to be smart. We want to remember things and all that. But sometimes, for certain things that you're meant to move on from or move past, it's not necessary. So yeah, self-love requires a whole lot of strength. It requires a whole lot of presence. It requires a whole lot of willingness to change and willingness to evolve and willingness to accept yourself no matter what season or phase you're in. It is all encompassing, and I be having to take deep breaths, okay? Because we're programmed to match ourselves up with timelines, now social media, work, money, all that. And timelines, I mean age, okay? And what we're supposed to do, what is it like? No, it's, yeah. So yeah, I feel like this acceptance of myself has been coming later in age because, your early 20s is like, and then your mid 20s is like, ooh. And then your later 20s is like, okay, wait. We might be cooking. So, yeah, I feel like it's cool. So anyway, that's my episode for today. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, even though this sounded like an episode in itself, and it kind of was. I'm just sharing this with you all and just being transparent so you guys can learn more things about me. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now, learning how to accept where I'm at so that I can move forward with grace, learning how to love myself in all of my seasons, no matter if I'm winning or losing. Subscribe to my Substack on Astro's Truth 777. I just talked about being in a losing season. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in an episode. But anyway, boom. Loving myself in every season. I want y'all to also do the same. And moving back in or just going through different things that you just didn't think was going to happen. I really feel like that's just you going back to a more malleable drawing board because now that I'm at home, I can take care of financial matters that need my attention. I can take care of things that actually need to be adjusted or worked out and stuff. Like, I can come up for air. Like, living on my own, I was suffocating. High key, low key, I was suffocating. Like, I only loved cooking and going to bed. Cooking and going to bed sometime. My bed wasn't even comfortable. But yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about and everything on here today. I hope y'all love this episode. And I will chat to y'all in the next one. next week, next Monday. Tag me your journal entries and just let me know what transitions are you going through in life and just how you're able to stay afloat, like presently stay afloat, not delusionally, but like for real. Yeah, for real with love. All right, catch y'all next week. Bye.